experts and artists that we will be able to listen to today. The motto of this meeting is one that we know very well, which is Safe and Sound. Safe and Sound is an action within the Luz de las Niñas campaign that aims to end violence against girls and to claim the right of the girls to live safe and sound anywhere in the world. Today we will make a tour of about an hour in which we will know the life stories of some of the girls. We will analyze the realities of violence they face from the hand of gender experts and the girls themselves. And we will discover how this year, through the campaign La Luz de las Niñas, have worked in different countries through artistic expression to help girls to express the violence they suffer and also heal through art. We're going to start talking about violence, and we're gonna share some numbers and data that these girls are suffering in different countries, and specifically in Yambio, where Sandra lives. She's our first participant. 93% of girls say they live in fear of being raped, murdered, or kidnapped. This is a fact from the recent report that we have made in the framework of the campaign Luz de las Niñas in South Sudan. And who better than Sandra to tell us how the situation is of the girls there in Yambio. Sandra, tell us, what do you think are the main problems that the girls face in South Sudan?
Okay, the thing I see among the main problem that makes some of our girls not to go to school is, one, the kind of negative attitudes toward education that is covered in, like, all the community members view girls' education so low. So that's why you find out that even girls themselves, they don't feel proud to go to school. When a girl reaches 15 years old, she starts feeling like she's already becoming ready to get married. So that is the thing. If our parents could be calling us good names, encouraging us, this is my she's going to be my great doctor in the future, she's going to be my great engineer in the future, at least that one will make girls feel proud of themselves, that indeed they need to achieve the goal that their parents always want them to be. But if their parents always tell you bad words, what is going to be in your mind? And secondly, because of the issue of poverty, I think poverty is the main reason, again, making our parents to feel like that. And sometimes I know most of our parents, they really don't know what they are doing. They think it is the best for us. I think if they sensitize them, like if they're to teach them about the benefit of educating a girl, I think some of them will stop. Like, let me say, the advanced parents in the city, parents who are educated, who know the benefit of girl child education, they really take good care of their children to school, especially girls. But this thing only happened to, if you like your parents, they're ignorant about girl child education, so you're going to suffer these kinds of violence. The least you're going to do is what? You need to get married. They want you to get married to a rich man, so that this rich man come and make them rich because they are poor, instead of them concentrating on making you to go to school to come and make them rich, that they want you to get married. That is the problem. And that's why you find out that girls are dropping out in South Sudan a lot. The rate of dropout from school is only girls. It's very hard for a girl to start schooling from primary and complete this, let me say, secondary level, just without getting pregnant. These are the things hindering girls from going to school, especially getting pregnant. You can get, a man will come to your home, a very rich man will be like, want to get married to you, he'll pay you up to the university. But after getting married to you, he's going to impregnate you. The least is you remain home taking care of the children. You're not going to go again for any further studies. These are the problems that are making some of our girls to not go for further studies. Like, they don't have this confidence in them again.
So Sandra, if you could wish something, if you had a dream, what would be your dream for this girl from all over the world?
If I am to wish, I wish all the girls of South Sudan to go for further education. I don't want girls to end only in senior four. Senior four is just the beginning of how you can achieve your goals. I want girls of South Sudan to go up to the university so that we shall have responsible women in South Sudan, not ignorant people in South Sudan. When all people are educated, things work smart. But the case of the rate of ignorant people in South Sudan is very high to the one of educated people. That's why there is too much poverty. But once girls are going to be educated and also boys educated, like there is equal where they see education to both girls and the boys, I think South Sudan is going to make it. The rate of poverty is going to reduce because all of them will work for what? For building their country. So I want all the girls of South Sudan to go to school. I want the government to offer scholarship for girls. I want the international community, the non-governmental community, any people who would wish to help girls to go to school.
Thank you very much, Sandra, for this testimony full of strength and full of hope too. So now we are going to continue talking about data, but we're going to Central America, where the diagnosis carried out in the framework of Luz de las Niñas by Fe y Alegría, a gender initiative in Nicaragua, Peru, Honduras, and El Salvador, revealed that 6 out of 10 girls and adolescents identified cases of sexual abuse towards them. To learn more about this reality, we had the participation of our colleague in El Salvador, Sandra Aguilar. She's a gender expert and she's going to talk about the situation of the girls, especially in Central America. Hello, how are you? It's a pleasure being part of this forum where we can hear the voice of the girls. It's a very important space where we are going to talk about the situations that affect girls and teenagers. That is why ending violence towards girls and teenagers and reivindicate their right to be safe and sound anywhere, it's essential for the construction of a prosperous, sustainable, and peaceful world. Violence is an act of abuse of power that happens when there's these conditions that predetermine balance between people, for example, age and gender. The violence towards women, towards girls and teenagers can be defined as any act based on gender that has or can have as a result harm or suffering, be it physical, sexual, mental, or threats or stopping freedom. Gender violence has been described by the OMS as a global health problem and a violation of the human rights. Violence towards girls and adolescents includes cultural, structural, and interpersonal violence. Each of these types of violence come out of each other, and the difference is in its origin. This violence are intertwined in our social groups. They are intimately linked and they are strengthened by each other. At the same time, they allow the reproduction of a determined social order. To understand violence towards women, and in this case towards girls and teenagers, we need to examine all of these different types of violence. It's important to highlight that sometimes boys and girls are seen as the property of their parents. This makes them more vulnerable to abuse and violence, and then gender adds vulnerability for girls and teenagers. and boys. So that's why it's important to end violence. Just put these things on the table, learn the needs of the girls and teenagers, listen to them, and fight for their rights. In the world, there's a lot of different kinds of violence, like children marriage, also destruction of the girl genitalia, also trafficking, and rape that disproportionately affect girls. In El Salvador, girls and teenagers suffer violence in their schools, on the streets, and community spaces. This violence can affect their development, and it may even hinder their education. It can also generate the fear because they are afraid of suffering more fear and more abuse. So this limits they're not able to move freely and develop their full potential. Violence is also a frequent problem in virtual spaces. There's a lot of cases of girls and teenagers who are being pointed at, who are insulted, defamated, or their images or videos are used in the cyberspace for different reasons. Of course, this is all done to diminish them. Violence needs to be socially rejected. We need to finish it, and it requires all kinds of actions, changing gender roles, for example, that tolerate this violence, as well as strengthen the laws. It's also of vital importance that girls and teenagers learn from a very early age, that learn about equity, be it in schools or in community spaces or in integral developing spaces. It's also necessary to promote dialogue. Spaces like this are also very important, where we can talk about the reality and the needs of the girls. Strengthen the values that sustain nonviolent relationships, positive relationships for girls and teenagers, including the more vulnerable and discriminated on people. Thank you very much, Sandra. Very interesting to all these things that you're telling us, to be able to contextualize the situation of the girls, and behind this data that we were giving you and this structural violence that Sandra is talking about. We also have all these life stories like Andrea in Guatemala, and people that work on the spot, like Cynthia, who's a social worker in Kangemi in Kenya. And with them, we are gonna see a more testimonial part to see how they're working in the spot, and how is education that we reivindicate as a tool here at Luz de las Niñas to work against violence can help or contribute this violence. Hello, Andrea. Hello, Andrea wants to speak in her native tongue, and we have Josefina, who was a part of Luz de las Niñas when she was little, and we're really proud and happy to have her working as an interpreter, and she is helping and supporting other girls that see her as a role model, right, Josefina? So thank you. Her name is Maria Andrea Pupu. She's 13 and she was born December 31st, 2010. She lives with her parents and she is from Paraje Siquibal, Santa Lucía La Reforma. Andrea tells us that every day she wakes up at 6 in the morning. She helps wash her niece's laundry, feeds the chicken, and helps her mom with breakfast. After eating breakfast, she goes to school. After coming back from school at 1 p.m., she helps her mom with lunch. After eating lunch, she helps her mom with laundry for her siblings. She also goes to fetch wood, and she also feeds the chickens. She doesn't have a lot of time for her homework, but she starts doing it after 6. When she is done with her homework, that's how she finishes her day. Andrea tells us that she lost second grade, but her dad didn't want her to continue studying because he thought that she couldn't keep going. But thanks to her mom, she is studying and she's in 6th grade. Andrea tells us that her dream is to be an expert accountant, to work in a bank because she likes math and she likes to count. Andrea tells us that she really likes to play soccer. Her and her friends play soccer and atrapadas during recess, and then they go back to their classes. She is also the president of the school governing, and her friends are in charge of the well-being of the school because they're in charge of cleaning and keeping the school clean. Andrea tells us that she really wants that every girl and women from her community keep studying, even though their parents tell them that they won't be able to do it or they don't give them the opportunity to study. But what she wants is all girls and women can move forward and that they can keep studying. My name is Josefina Dio. My story and Andrea's story, a lot of women and girls in these communities, we suffer discrimination and violence because we want to study. This happens in Santa Lucía La Reforma and all over the country. We want this to change. We have the right to an education. Like me and Andrea, there's a lot of girls that want to move forward so that we can keep studying and have a better quality of life. Thank you very much, Josefina. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you also for showing us another reality, the one of the indigenous girls and women. And now, as I said earlier, we're going to talk to Cynthia Odanga. She's a social worker in the Luz de las Niñas project in Kangemi. It's an informal settlement in Nairobi, the capital of Kenya. Cynthia, tell us a little bit about the situations of violence that the girls face in Kangemi, in the environment of this settlement in the city, and what's the work that you do with the girls, and what do you do as a social worker?
Thank you so much, Laura, for giving us this opportunity and for the organizers of this Zoom meeting. So, considering that Kangemi is a slum, there are so many challenges that these girls go through. And one of the main challenge that causes these other challenges, I'd say the root cause for all these challenges is poverty. Low socioeconomic status for these girls' parents or guardians causes a lot of challenges for our girls. So if a parent has a low financial status, the girls are unable to be in school because the parent cannot pay the school fees or tuition fee for this girl. So you find that most of the time they are either at home, or rather if they're in school, they are always sent home for school fees arrears. So you find that their tuition is or school fees, school time is disrupted, and therefore the performance is low because they cannot concentrate in class. And also you see that all that affects them psychologically, like they cannot concentrate in class. They keep on thinking where the parents will get the finances for them to pay school fees for them. Another challenge is lack of school uniform, scholastic materials, and also some books to aid in their learning. So you find that there are girls who go to school with the worn-out uniform, and this affects their self-esteem. And in that regard, they cannot perform very well because they keep on thinking like there are other girls who are laughing at them, maybe because of their worn-out uniform. And also, if they lack school requirements, they cannot perform very well because while in class, they need these requirements that aid in their learning. So you find that that also affects their performance in class. Another challenge that our girls face is a lack of menstrual hygiene kits. So you find that there are girls who have the option of using pieces of cloth. They decide to use pieces of cloth, and that is unhygienic for them. And that can also lead to them developing infections, and which can later affect their reproductive health. So you find that that is not hygienic for them. And on that regard, there are other girls who decide to develop sexual relations with the men in exchange for these menstrual hygiene kits. And the sexual relations can lead to sexual violence. If this man asks for a girl to like in return, like give something in return, they can only sleep with the girl, and that is defilement. We find that that is sexual abuse from these men. And also it can also lead to early marriages in case this girl falls pregnant, because you find that there are parents who decide that once this girl falls pregnant, they automatically have to be married to that man, and that is early marriage because this girl is still underage. This sexual relations can also lead to early pregnancies, and that can lead to school dropout or cut short the school going time for this girl, because she has to stop going to school, take care of the pregnancy, give birth, sorry, and also have time with the baby before now going back to school. And there are those who go back to school, and there are those ones who like it's the end for their school. Another challenge that our girls face is peer pressure to join gang groups or join these groups that abuse drugs. So they become drug peddlers or abuse drugs. So with this peer pressure is like a very big challenge here in Kangemi, because there are a lot of idle adults who like peddle these drugs. So you find that we really work with these girls directly, but it's still a challenge. Another challenge that we have is you find that these girls lack other basic needs apart from the menstrual hygiene kits. They lack food, like they can go for a day without eating, and also where they are living, the shelter is not well constructed, like it's not safe for them. And also there are periods when they also lack clothing. They put on worn out clothes, and that affects their confidence and self-esteem. Despite having these challenges, we have been working with LALUS to at least have interventions that can at least help if not all, a few of the girls. And one of the interventions that Laluz has helped us with is payment fees, and this has helped us to at least keep girls in school, because their school fees or tuition fees is paid in full, so they are not disrupted to go home, look for school fees balance, and also their performance has improved. Sorry. Another intervention is provision of menstrual hygiene kits, that is sanitary towels. So at least we have helped in improving their health, and also we have avoided the fact that these girls would have looked for other means to get the menstrual hygiene kits. Another intervention is provision of school uniform and scholastic materials. So this has helped in improvement of their performance in class, and also for the school uniform, at least the girls are smart, and their confidence is boosted and self-esteem raised. And we have also been able to organize forums whereby we offer guidance and counseling, and we provide them with skills that they can use to maneuver through challenges in life, like peer pressure. And also the forums are key in ensuring that the girls' confidence is boosted, and also their self-esteem is boosted. Yeah, so that is all that I can say for today, but the interventions really help us to ensure that these girls are in school, they're kept in school for a period of that is required for them to complete their education. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank La Luz de las Ninas for ensuring that this happens. Yes.
Thank you, Cynthia, for the work that we've learned firsthand. And me, I've been able to see it, and it's unbelievable. And I've been able to see you working as a social worker, so thank you very much. I don't know, Cynthia, if you have any of the girls around today, or if you're alone.
Yes, the girls are here, and I would like to invite them to at least tell you the situation that they face and how they maneuver through the challenges. Yeah.
Hi.
Thank you for being here today. If you can please tell us how it is being a girl in Kangemi. What are the main problems that you think girls have in Kangemi?
My name is Faith Ndakuri. I am 14 years old. I'm in St. Joseph Junior Secondary, and I'm in grade 7.
My name is Bridget Claire. I'm 14 years old. I study in St. Joseph Junior Secondary. I'm in grade 7.
We are girls living in Kangemi. Here are the reasons why it is difficult to be a girl in Kangemi. Reason number 1 is lack of education. Number 2 is lack of sanitary towels and lack of stationaries.
And lack of health care, lack of guidance and counseling, lack of basic needs.
I wish all the girls' rights should be violated and all girls to go to school.
Thank you very much for your intervention. And after learning the reality of Andrea's testimony of the girls of Kangemi and Cynthia as a social worker, we want to highlight the importance of that all this work of direct intervention is linked with overprotection of the states and the international community that's efficient, and that's why advocacy is also key to the protection of the girls. And about this work of advocacy through the campaign, Macarena Romero Alvaro is going to talk. Is our colleague in charge of advocacy at Entreculturas. Hello, Macarena. Thank you indeed. Through these girls and the teams at Fe Alegría and JRS, we work in a dialogue and pressure towards the authorities and political institutions that have to ensure the effective fulfillment of the human rights of these girls. And this is one of the clear objectives of the campaign. More specifically, on the website, we can find the petitions that we address to the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, and among them, to name a few, we ask him to encourage countries to create accessible, confidential, and appropriate mechanisms for reporting and responding to violence, to ensure quality education free of violence against girls, and to develop robust protection systems against violence against girls that coordinate and involve the justice, social services, health, and education sectors. We have also addressed up to 3 times the Commission of the Status of Women in the session held annually at the United Nations, and we have presented 3 declarations thanks to the consultative status that the International Federation Fe Alegría has to denounce the particular situation of girls in the context where we work, and that was especially cruel in the context of the COVID scenario. Finally, I wanted to point out another action that we have carried out in the month of March this year, and that is that we are able to hold an online meeting with Rima Haslim, the United Nations Special Rapporteur on Violence Against Women and Girls, its causes and consequences. In this space, some of the girls from the campaign were able to share their experiences and were also asked about their main demands and complaints. And now I want to give way to 2 of these girls who can tell us how they live this process of advocacy, and I'm gonna hand it over to Cristina from Nicaragua. Hello everybody, my name is Cristina Laguna and I'm part of the project campaign Luz de las Niñas of Nicaragua and the municipality of Tandino. I'm in this Fe Alegría y Guadalupe, and I want to talk about the process of our history in our campaign. In the year 2022, more than girls from 9 countries participated in the first global workshop of the Luz de las Niñas campaign, promoted by Entreculturas, Fe Alegría, and the Jesuit Service to Refugees. In this workshop, we were able to create a manifesto with 11 demands. I also want to share with you a little bit of the experience that I had when we handed over the manifesto. It was a whirlwind of emotions because we were in front of the authorities of our municipality. We started first and we visited Padre Victor. He's the general director of Fe Alegría. And then we went to Aida Hernandez. She's the director of our municipality. And then we went to see the mayor, Raimundo Flores. He is the mayor of our municipality. And finally, we went to see the commissioner, Martin Hernandez. He is in charge of the police in our district. When I was sitting in front of them, I was really scared that the things I was going to say wouldn't be right, but then I saw that they were paying attention to what I was saying, and I felt more confident. And that's something that I really needed so that I could express what we want so that our world changes, so that we start all over and we start well. We need to promote this project. It's not just us, the only ones that know about this project. All the girls all over the world need to know it so that we can find our light. Because some of us don't have it, and we want to start in our municipality within the institutions of our school. And this is an experience that has really impacted me, because I was able to share what I wanted to share, but it was also a beautiful experience that made me feel very happy and thankful to have been listened to by all the authorities, and that they were willing to help me and all the girls in our municipality. I also want to hand over a video. Thank you very much, Macarena, and thank you, Cristina. It's very important what you were saying, and it's really hard sometimes to listen to the children, especially girls, and it's also hard for them to listen and also to talk about some topics about violence. And with this, we're going to go to the next block, directed to the activities that Luz de las Niñas has done in different countries this year, related to art, and how art can be a tool so that girls can express themselves about the violence they suffer, or to talk about topics that sometimes are hard to talk about. But through art, it's easier. For that, we have two artists, one from Nicaragua and another one from Chad, that had the opportunity to work throughout this process with the girls from the different countries, and they're going to tell us a little bit about how it was. First, we're going to talk to Diana Brooks. She's a puppeteer and an artist, and she's also a teacher with a special focus on autistic boys and girls, and she has worked in communities at risk and also with the girls from the campaign. Diana, can you tell us a little bit about how this work process is and how art can help with violence against girls? Hello, everybody. Thank you for sharing. Through art, children develop their creativity and then become more confident, and as adults are able to seek solutions to the problems they face. In the case of we work with poems and narration. Through this, they are able to express how they feel and how they live, and they can even share our inner world, how they feel about it at that time. We can see this process of life that these girls have had, and how they've also have trusted us to explain this to us. We can create experiences that help them heal internally, and it's a way to see how we can contribute to share this knowledge that they have acquired. So poetry, creative writing, it's a very powerful tool in the hands of the girl. It's a way of empowering them and make them feel secure, and to give them this voice in writing so they can be heard, and so that they can feel secure to tell what they think, knowing that at any moment anybody will have the chance to read what they have written, and know that a lot of girls in the world are also living the same and that they are not alone. They are a unique force with an inner light that's exploding and radiating all over the world. Thank you. Diana, I mean, personally, I think that what you're doing is very interesting, and that art can be a tool that can have a bigger impact than what we think. Now we're going to see an example of this work that Diana is telling us about, because from Nicaragua, one of the girls is going to read her poem that's the fruit of this work through art. The poem is called Our Inner Light. You won't hurt me, you won't silence me, and if you lay your hands on me, you will regret it. Let's bring our voices together. Let's bring awareness. Let's join this cause and say stop violence. I stopped speaking, conquered by fear. It is not the time to be silent. It is time to open our mouths and scream to the top of our lungs so that everybody can hear me. Violence hurts us, and even more to know we are being violated. Let's not let our inner light go out because of criticism or for what some might say. Let's go out and show our inner light. Let's not be turned off. Thank you, Maria Belén. And now we are going to chat, where we'll see Tristiana. She's the first National Slam Poetry Champion. She's a communication student with several years of experience working with girls who are victims of gender-based violence through slam, this street poetry, improvisation. Tristiana has traveled to refugee camps in Lago Chad to be with the girls and work with them around the theme of violence. She's going to travel to Brazil soon, so we really appreciate it that she's here and that she's going to travel and work with the girls. And she's going to represent Chad in the Slam Poetry World Championship. And she's going to tell us about the process of work with the girls in Chad, the importance of activism, and also her own story of suffering and violence that as a woman she has had to overcome.
C'est vraiment un honneur et un immense plaisir de m'adresser à vous à l'occasion de la journée internationale surtout de la jeune fille. C'est ce qui nous intéresse le plus. J'aimerais vraiment vous présenter mon texte sur les violences basées sur le genre. Si vous le voulez bien sûr, ça serait un plaisir pour moi de présenter ce texte avec vous. Et c'était un plaisir pour moi. Je remercie vraiment tous les partenaires qui ont soutenu le projet où j'ai été à Barcelone avec Natalia. C'était un moment incroyable. Parce que ces filles, je me suis dit, ces filles n'attendaient que nous pour s'exprimer, pour sortir du silence, pour dire ce qu'elles pensent, pour se faire comprendre et pour se dire que non, on n'est pas sûr. Que ce soit en Espagne, que ce soit dans le monde entier, les gens nous comprennent, les gens sont à nos côtés, les gens s'inquiètent pour nous. Et je dis vraiment merci à ces partenaires qui ont donné plus de force, plus de créativité à nos ateliers de slam. Est-ce de ma faute? Est-ce de ma faute si je suis une fille?
Is it my fault that I am a child? Hatred and sadness invade me from all sides. In my heart there is no protector, and my soul is plunged in immense terror. My happiness as a young girl is scarce. I cannot be happy because I am a victim. Yes, a victim of rape in my existential environment, a victim of sexual harassment and exploitation, where I feel more sweaty than lady. I am reserved the fate of an inferior being. I can earn neither merit nor honor. I am a victim of forced marriage. I am considered a resource to avoid poverty. I am a victim of infidelity, despite having my home as a priority. I am threatened and beaten every day, so that my suffering reaches its climax. No one is interested in discovering my qualities. I lack security and I don't know who to turn to. I am an abused woman. Nothing by a man I thought I knew. One day, for no reason, he started hitting me. He promised me he would never do it again. He hit me with all his strength. He didn't know how to express himself. His blows hurt so much, without mercy. Under his blows, I simply hid. But I would say that when love is only possession, when love is only destruction, when this form of love is indescribable, then there is no true love. It's the most beautiful feeling you can have. Love is non-violence, truth, innocence, and I would say that respect is its essence. Dad, uncle, you understand our situation. These persistent problems increase our tension. We have enough on our plate. We don't want to be pessimistic anymore. We want to aspire to happiness and be realistic. Mom, Yaya, you understand. Let's look at our universe. Let's scrutinize all its mysteries relentlessly. Let's follow our path with determination. And let us not have any number of doubts. As long as the sun shines, every miracle will exist.
Aspirer du bonheur, être réaliste. Maman, Yaya, regardons notre univers et scrutons sans répit tous ces mystères. Suivons avec détermination notre route. Il n'y a aucun nombre de doute. Nous, en tant que femmes, nous sommes très utiles pour cette belle mission. Il ne reste pas mal que notre jeunesse. Tant que le soleil brillera, on écoute les histoires. Tant que ce soleil brillera, tout résistera. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much, Tristiana. And now we are going to close this forum with Chiara. She's a girl from Peru, and she has prepared a small speech with petitions and claims. There's a little bit of a review of what has happened in this forum. So, Chiara. Hello, my name is Chiara and I'm from Peru. Today's encounter was really interesting to be able to listen to all of you. But it's also been very indignant to hear the situations of violence that you suffer in your countries. For example, girls forced to marry just because they started their development. Girls who can't study just because they're women. Girls with no access to paths, marrying a rich man, stereotypes that you have to stay home taking care of your kids without having finished with college, virtual violence, having sexual relationship with men. Girls tend to be minors. Some of the situations of violence also happen in my country. The girls in rural zones, they don't have access to an education because their schools are really far and they're hours away, and there's a lot of risks. Here in Huancayo, there's 4 claims of violence a day, 3 against girls, women and teenagers, and just 1 against boys. This makes you really mad, and I do not agree. That's why today I invite you to reconsider and express and think about the challenges. Us as girls, what should we do? What are our challenges for us? I invite you to tell me. From Guatemala, we want girls with peace and security. So this is what we want to achieve with the Luz de las Niñas campaign, that all girls have this peace, be free, and express our opinions without what they have to tell us, be it good or bad. Anybody else? As a girl representing Nicaragua, I don't want any more violence in the world. Mainly, we want to end bullying and harassment and abuse. We want authorities to believe what the victims are saying, and that we can keep our arms crossed because girls, women, or teenagers are suffering abuse. Excellent. What we want to achieve is that we don't want to be called liars because we are not liars. We want to be believed. Anybody else? Girls from Fe y Alegría of Huancayo have lived a very beautiful experience participating in the campaign Luz de las Niñas. We have as a commitment and challenge develop new workshops being in schools and other institutions. We want to develop new strategies to reach girls with more confidence and also show our language and energy, and also empower them so that we all together can have our light shining, that the girls, that from girl to girl, we are creating one force, and we want that our light shine. We want our light to shine. I think we're missing Cristina from Nicaragua. Maybe. I just want to say, don't let anybody turn off our lights. And it doesn't matter the situation that we are in. We should always have somebody we trust, and we always have to show our smile, because that's the most beautiful thing in the world. And mainly our smile is going to cheer us up quite a bit. Thank you, Christina. And I think we are missing the girls from Kenya. Tell us, what is your wish for girls? Thank you all. We really liked hearing your wishes and your claims, and with all these wishes of future and all these messages from girls all over the world, we will leave you. Thank you all very much for participating and for following this forum, and thank you to all the girls for being so brave, for being here and speaking loud and clear, and for sharing with us today. Thank you.